So today I'll be showing you how to make this Cyclone Shuriken completely out of paper other than the toothpicks that I use for hinges. But before we get into this, I just want to say thank you to all the people who've been subscribing lately. It's awesome because I'm about to hit 2,000 subscribers, which is amazing to think about. So keep all that up, it's awesome. So back into the Shuriken, it has 3 hinges and blades that fold in like this, which is pretty cool. And then I can just open it back up like that. Works perfectly, and let's get right into the build. Alright, so to start off, I'm going to go over the materials we'll be needing for this. Elmer's glue. It can't be replaced with anything else because this is like the essential part of creating hardened paper. I'm not going to be creating hardened paper in this just because I have leftover hardened paper from my old build, so I'll just be using this. But basically the concept is that you just take glue, spread it across a piece of paper, and then put another piece of paper on top of it and let it dry so that it becomes very hard. And then you just keep stacking those on top of each other until you get a thick material, which is like wood. So other than the glue, well, of course the paper, we have many options for the paper. What I go with is cardstock, but you can use A4 paper, you can use construction paper like the colorful construction paper, and it came to my attention that you can also use index cards, because everybody has these. Of course you can't make the very large builds with index cards, but it will work just fine, and I might be creating some stuff with index cards later on. Anyways, a craft knife. Here I'm using a box cutter, just because I don't have an X-Acto knife, and these are extremely cheap. You can get it for $1 with a bunch of replacement blades. And since the paper is so thick, you'll be needing replacement blades. And a laptop is probably good for a template, because I'll be showing you how to create a template in the next part. Alright, so now we're going to move on to creating the template. So what I did was I looked up Cyclone Shuriken on Google Images, got up a good picture right here, and then I put a piece of printer paper over my screen and taped it there so that I can trace it with a pencil and create my template. And for a lot of people roasting me saying that, oh, I can't afford a printer, the reason that I'm doing this, and there is a reason, is because I can zoom it and scale it in real time, just so I know that I can match it. I can scale on the other softwares, but it's just simpler for me, and I can make any adjustments I need to without the need of a printer. So to those people, I have a good reason. So let's get back into tracing all the parts that we need. As you can see, these are the 3 blades that'll flip into the main part. So we'll have a couple parts. So I'll go into how many pieces that we'll be cutting out later on. So let's get right into tracing this. Alright, so after tracing the template, this is what we got. Not the most beautiful thing, but it will work for our purposes. So we're going to be cutting out 2 of these center parts to create a slot for these blades to turn into, and 3 blades. We don't need more than that. So I'm gonna cut this out first so that we can start cutting out our design. Alright, so I cut out my template, just like a rough cutout over here, and I pasted it onto this hardened paper. As you can see, some of the blades are hanging off. That's because I'm only gonna be cutting out the center part. The blades will come later. Right now I'm just gonna go ahead and cut out this center part from the hardened paper. Okay, so I cut out the first piece. I'm going to be cutting out another one. As you can see, I just traced another pattern onto this. I'm just going to cut this one out, and then we're going to get into creating the the last 3 blades and then the hinges, so that we can finish off the shuriken. Okay, so I got both pieces cut out. As you can see, pretty well. I like the way it's looking so far. As you can see, they stack up on each other perfectly. And it's just going to be spaced out like that so that I can put the blades in between and they'll fold. We'll be using toothpicks for the hinge, just as a heads up. So if you have toothpicks, I suggest getting them. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to take this template. I took just one of the blades. I'm going to put it on here. I'm going to cut out 3 of them. We want 3 of the exact same things so that it fits perfectly and looks good. But we also need a little... This is just the blade. I need a little point at the end, like a circle, to put the actual hinge through. So you'll see what I mean. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out, and then I'll be right back. So as you can see, I put the blade in here. As you can see, I made this little round part at the bottom, and this is just so that this is the part that's gonna go into the main, so it's gonna go like that. It's gonna overlay on top of the blade. That's just that part. So I'm gonna do that for all three. I'm gonna go ahead and cut all three out, and then we'll talk about how to assemble it. As you can see, I got all the parts cut out, 3 blades here, and the 2 centerpieces here. You may notice that I put holes in it, and then since this is paper, it's quite simple. You take a thumbtack, and you just kind of push it in, and you kind of like swirl it around so that you can widen the hole enough for the toothpick. And then once you have it wide enough, you can just put a toothpick in, and that will be your hinge. For now, I'm gonna go and poke 3 holes into these at the bottom so that they can fit in, and then we'll go into the assembly. So as you can see, I got the toothpicks in here. I just have the blades and the bottom part on here, so you see I have these moving parts. They are a little, they don't move too well right now because they're not broken in. I have to move them around a little bit. But without further ado, let's put the piece on. So we just slide this top part on, match it with all the toothpicks. To be careful, because if you put pressure on the wrong places, they could snap. So I'm just gonna lightly push down on all the different sides. As you can see, it's slowly going down. There we go. Let's push this side down, and there we go. As you can see, we have our shuriken pretty much finished. I just need to snap off. As of right now, here, let me see if I can just fold all of them down. There we go. Pretty cool. Folds down, and then I can lift it back up. And that's pretty cool. I'll go on to the next step, which is just removing these other parts. Alright, so now to break these off, what I have is a wire cutter. You can even just snap them off, but wire cutters work the best for me. So all you want to do is you want to go to the end and just like that. Cut one more off. There you go. And there we go. And that's basically it. Folds like that. Pretty well. And then you can just open it back up. And bam. Pretty awesome. So if you liked the video, like it, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. And I'll be back next time.